Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
It most certainly is. And good evening to everybody. And it's an absolute orgasmic joy to be back here broadcasting at you, whether you like it or not, here from Windy Bottom. And it's enormously decent of you to allow me to come into your eyes and ears in this fashion. Now, I shall begin. Oh, hello. The emojis are already getting an outing. Jolly good. I shall begin by having a slurp of my wine and saying cheers and bottoms up to you all. And I shall then welcome all of the lovely people who are viewing by saying buttocks to them in a kind, reassuring and hopefully caring tone. So, cheers, bottoms up. Nothing wrong with that. Splendid. Now then, Jimmy Quinn, buttocks, underscore, buttocks, Steekulg, buttocks, Pingu Concord, buttocks, Jabberwocky 220 GTI, aka Liz, buttocks, Simone, buttocks, Simon, aka Project MGTF, buttocks, Bad Books, buttocks, oh, Project Ronnie, buttocks, yeah. General Cheeseburger, buttocks, Typhoon Cat, also aka Liz, double buttocks, Captain Mustard, buttocks, Lurpak Toast Rack, Lurpak Toast Rack Inspector, buttocks. Jonathan Dix. Oh, blimey, Jonathan Dix. Buttocks. We'll talk about you in a moment. Skick. Buttocks. That's it. Right, I've buttocked you all. So now we can get into the meat and vegetables of the thing. Jimmy Quinn, bless you. Thank you. Jimmy Quinn has bunged me a couple of quid because he's a lovely chap, and that will go into the kitty and will be very gratefully received, Jimmy. Thank you very much indeed. How's life, asks Matt. It's been interesting. Excuse me. It's been interesting, Matt. As anybody who saw my video on, well, it was a video of Friday night, and it went out, when did it go out? Last night? I've had a drink since then. But yeah, interesting times, but life is good. I've had a lovely day at the yard with Mustard. Now then, so talk to me. Tell me how your weekend has been. Tell me what you've been up to. Give me any good gossip. I'll just work through these comments here. Simone is panicking a little as she has to drive her Cortina to Birmingham next Thursday. It'll be grand. It'll be absolutely grand, Simone. You'll love it. You'll really enjoy it. And it's jolly exciting when you get to drive inside the halls. Oh, and Simone follows up by saying, I have to find a way to balance my prop shaft. Well, we've all been there, Simone. Yeah, I don't know. Diet? I don't know. How do you balance your prop shaft? I mean, I suppose you need plenty of roughage and fibre, don't you? Otherwise, it'll all get bunged up at one end. Due to the terrible vibrations, I've been suffering from some really awful vibrations today. And not my own vibrations, but Captain Mustard's. he has been vibrating in some really quite unpleasant ways today, and appears to have taken great joy in doing so. And Simone also needs to fine-tune her carb. Yes, well, the less said about that, the better. Now then. Oh, hello, somebody's speaking French. Oh, well, this is fun. And it's our friend Simon from the community channel Project MGTF, a man who is no stranger now to doing live streams himself, and jolly good they are too. And Simon says, Bonjour, Monsieur Matt. Oui, oui, je suis bon, merci. Et toi? Using the informal address there, and rightly so, because Simon and Matt are jolly good chums. Lovely to have you with us, Project Ronnie. He's not going to be here very long, and he lets us know. He lets us know exactly that in this succinct message, which I will now read out for you in an as yet undisclosed accent. Hello, guys. I'll not be staying for very long tonight. You've caught me 10 minutes after my revision finished. And I should make it clear that Project Ronnie, also known as the lovely Jake, who is an absolutely charming young fella and incredibly knowledgeable for one so young. He certainly knows a damn sight more than I do. And I'm about 90 years old and have been around cars all my life. And Jake is, well, I mean, he's almost literally a fetus. He's certainly fetus firstus. And he knows a lot more than I do. And it's lovely to have him with us, albeit only for a brief moment. But that's grand. Pingu Concord says, good evening, Admiral Boaty. How are you floating tonight? Well, Pingu, I'm floating on a cloud of sheer excitement at being amongst you wonderful people. That's how I'm floating tonight. General Cheeseburger says good evening to the conscript. Oh, the emojis are getting a good outing. I haven't added to them, unfortunately. We still only have Mustard the Muff Magnet, Momos with Chutney, and the Honourable Stigbert von Thundercock available in the emoji collection. Oh, and before he went, or he may still be with us, I don't know, Jake says, it really has been a while since I've been on one of these. Start getting back into Rover stuff now, I think. I genuinely hope you do, Jake. Obviously, I'm fully aware of what's been going on. I completely understand where you've been coming from. And as a number of other people have said, don't let it get in the way of anything in terms of specific cars and your love for them. It's nothing that can't and won't be rectified. General Cheeseburger caught up with Simone's live today and also read about her friend and offers his condolences, which I think we would all echo that. A really bad joke from Simon there. Actually, it's not that bad, but I'm not going to read it out. Well, actually, no, I won't, because I'd have to explain it, and I can't be asked. Hello, Boaty, says Matt, also known as _ I forgot what I was supposed to remind you from the other night's live stream. Well, thanks for letting me know, but I can't really help you with that because I can't remember it. That's why I asked you to remind me. So if anybody knows what I've forgotten and what _ has forgotten to remind me about, do let us know. Simon expresses some distress at still not having a toast rack. Simon, I have a toast rack for you, dear boy. I have one for you. And I also have your key for Miss Henrietta Pie. So when we next meet, old toot, you can avail yourself of both key and toast rack. Sorted. I like the CGI, says Cheeseburger. Yeah, low rent like everything else on this channel, innit? Wow, a ping just as I finish editing, says Mustard. Brilliant. And he follows that up very wittily by saying, hello everybody, with no fewer than 3 exclamation marks. That is a very exclamatory hello everybody. And it was immediately responded to by Jake, who responded by saying hello. Oh, and then we're getting into this. I don't know what this is. It's on a live stream that I missed. Certain members of this community have decided that it behoves them to welcome each other to a live stream by shouting their names in capital letters. And I can only liken it to cheers when Norm walks in and says, evening everybody, and everybody goes, Norm! What's going on, Mr. Peterson? Never mind that, let's talk about what's going in, Mr. Peterson. Give me a beer. What were your favourite Normisms for anybody who remembers the programme Cheers? So, yeah, they're all shouting each other's names and I'm shouting buttocks at them. Nice intro, Mr. Boaty, says LTI, otherwise known as, oh, LTI, Lurpak Toast Rack Inspector. But that's also the acronym for London Taxis International. And I have owned, in my time, 2 London Taxis International, an FX4 in the traditional black, and a Metro cab in maroon, which I drove around France in. And the Metro cab was absolutely fabulous. And the FX4 was a total nightmare. If you think K-series are bad for doing head gaskets, try an FX4. What's happening? What's going on? I didn't say hello Siri. Why are you doing that? Stop it. Stop it at once. Right, I appear to be back. I think. Let's test it. Alexa, volume up. Alexa, open X Hamster. Right, hopefully that will work. Anyway, Lurpak Toast Rack Inspector said, nice intro, Mr. Boaty. I'm being taken to task here by my official unpaid intern. And check your messenger every once in a while when the rockstar life allows it. Rockstar life, yeah. Rockstar life, peeling onions and battling through snow. I'm lousy at emails and messengers and texts and everything. Don't take it personally if you've messaged, text or sent a carrier pigeon to me at some time in the last 2 years and I haven't quite got round to responding yet. I'm just pants at all of that. Mustard the Muff Magnets emoji is getting plenty of use here. That's nice. Ah, yes, we've gone on to Jonathan Dix. So, welcome, Jonathan. And I would like to introduce you all to Jonathan, who apparently has been watching the channel for a while. But, rather excitingly, we found out after a couple of PMs, he knew me way back in the day. Back when I was, God, how old would we have been? How old was I when we first, certainly when I was, when we were both teenagers. So that's been some nice catching up and talking about a few mutual chums from back in the day. Nice when things like that happen. Mustard still shouting people's names for, oh, now then. Steve. Cheeseburger, Simone, yeah, well done, Mustard. Buttocks to you all. But Mustard is now being taken to task by Skick, who says, and I'll try and read this in stern Headmaster Boaty mode. Mustard, you missed Simone's live, of which you promised to attend. So, there you are. That is the accusation. What have you got to say for yourself, Mustard? Hey? Go on, boy, out with it. We're saying good evening to Oh, he has answered. Mustard has answered. And given the excuse that he was on his way home, and he meant to say from Scunthorpe, but he's from the north, and sometimes he struggles with the King's English. So he's actually said, I was on way home, Scunthorpe, which doesn't make total sense, but we understand him. He's our friend. He doesn't need to be perfect. We understand him and love him just as he is, imperfections and all. He made me 2 cups of coffee today and bought me lunch. And in my book, that very much makes up for him doing a lot of farting in my general direction. It doesn't stand to pay downwind of Mustard at the moment. I don't know what's got into him lately. He never used to be like that. He's obviously just comfortable with us all now, sufficiently comfortable to be on farting terms. But, well, there we are. So yeah, he was on his way home from Scunthorpe, and there is some video evidence to corroborate his mitigation. I'm still, oh my God. As if it's not enough that I'm being haunted by bloody toast rack inspectors and combinations of children's characters, favourite butters and aircraft of various type. I'm now being hounded by a YouTube channel called Wetleg's Rear End. I'm being harassed by my own car's arse, for God's sake. For those who don't know, Fräulein Wetleg von Tittybiscuits is my most recent acquisition, and she is a 1998 MGF, and she says, I'm still bloody cold, Boaty. Where's my heated garage life? Heated garage my arse, Wetleg. None of the other family get a heated garage, and you didn't have a heated garage down on the Isle of Bloody Wight. So don't come here. You're in pride of place there. All of the others, are out there, right? On view to the public, with anybody could, hikers and so on could walk past them and flick snow on them. You are in pride of place on the private garden laney driveway bit, so you've got absolutely nothing to complain about. And we've all been bloody cold after the last couple of days. And you can't be that cold because I gave you some love. I warmed you up. Yeah, you had been covered in snow. So I started you and I let you warm yourself right up, and I checked you to make sure that you'd survived the snowdrift tolerably well. And I cleaned bits of you. I got a damp sponge and delved into one of your little hidden nooks, my lovely. So don't come in. You've had a bit of Boaty love. You've had a warm sponge inserted into one of your more private areas. So I don't know what more you could want. Now then, where do we get to? £2 in the kitty. Bragging, are we, sir? Not bragging, Matt, not bragging. Just saying a heartfelt thank you to Jimmy Quinn for bunging £2 my way. And every little helps, as the old lady said when she piddled in the sea. Yeah, it all adds up. And hopefully it will all add up to what's going to happen a week today, my lovelies. Fingers crossed. Now then. Oh, Ivor Spotty Botty is with us and says, good evening, Boaty and everyone. Hope you're all having a great night. Oh dear. I'm having a Mike Hunt of a morning at work at the moment. Spotty Botty is from the land down under, folks. And he pops in on his smoko, his smoking break, to say hello to us and catch up with all of the news. And we appreciate that. And I think I speak for all of us, Spotty Botty, when I say that we're sorry you're having a bit of an arse of a day. And we hope everything else, at home and whatnot, family-wise, we hope everything's okay, well, as okay as it can be. and you're all keeping your chins up. And we are all thinking of you, mate. And at least an arse of a day at work takes your mind off it a bit, doesn't it? Oh, hang on. No, I've missed, right. I thought you'd have to abandon your car and walk home, unless I've missed that video. No, I did have to abandon my car and walk home. I just managed to abandon it quite close to home. It was still a challenging walk. And for those who don't know, during that challenging walk, I dropped my phone, my filming phone. Not the filming phone that you're on here, but my other phone. You know the one I mean. Where's it gone? Oh, bloody lost it again now. Hold on, bear with. Well, what have I bloody done with that? I had it. Oh, blood and sands. I swear I had it. Oh, here it is. I'm talking about this one, the one I swapped for the iPad, and that I can't use for for doing the live streams because it's got that what is apparently an endemic fault with anything from iPhone X onwards, where it, in quiet conditions, it puts a like background noise in. I tried it for one live stream and you all complained. Anyway, the point is, on Friday night while walking home, I dropped it without realising that I'd dropped it. And come Saturday morning, when I was looking to do some editing and start putting some videos together, I searched everywhere for this bloody phone. Couldn't find it in the house, couldn't find it in the car. Did the old find your phone thing and played the sound and everything, and it says, yeah, I'm close by, but wouldn't tell me where it was. Couldn't see it, couldn't find it, couldn't hear it. Turned out my lovely neighbour had it, and they saw me. The phone was going mental because I kept pressing the ding button. And they looked out of their window and saw me wandering forlornly up and down the lane looking for the damn thing. And they'd rescued it on Saturday morning. So, testament to the old iPhone. Other phones are available, even though I don't have to say that. I'm not working for the BBC. I'm not Gary Lineker. I can call the Conservative Party anything that I want to. But yeah, this lived in a snowdrift overnight on Friday night in the middle of the road. And look, it survived intact and all of the footage was there. So that's happy days, isn't it? So yeah, it was a tricky walk home, although not quite as far a walk as I might have implied. Skick says, the video of the drive in snow was tough. A good cheap option would be a RAV4. Not the option I've gone for. We're talking Freelander. Oh yes, on topic. On brand. Right, we have another new channel joined us. R8 Tourer. And I wonder if that might be a reference to Brett Anderson, Captain Mustard's latest acquisition. And R8 Tourer says, very cleverly, hello there, are you R8? R8, R8, R8. We can see what he did there. Jimmy Quinn chimes in and says the RAV4 is a very good 4x4. Well, it is, yeah. Black Lines, hello Black Lines, sorry, Buttocks. The 25 did fine in the snow. Just need some winter tyres and maybe an emergency kit. Much cheaper than a 4x4 for 2 days of the year. Well, yeah, it would be, but it's not just about... I was talking about this to somebody. It's not just about the grip, right? There is also the question of ground clearance. And that is something which a 4x4 provides that on any kind of winter tyres you're not going to get in a Rover 25. Now, when I did eventually get stuck on Friday, I got stuck because I had to, well, I didn't have to. There was a way I could have avoided it, and I'm annoyed with myself that I didn't. But I was tired. I just wanted to get home. I was a lot more bloody tired an hour later when I finally did get home. But the point is, I got beached because there was a snowdrift that had iced and became firm, and I launched the car. Oh God, hold on. And I got the car beached on it. Obviously, with a 4x4, you get increased ground clearance, and that is quite a big thing here, especially on the lanes that I have to drive, because on those Peak District lanes, you'll get, wherever there's a gap in the hedge or wall, like a gate, you know, an open 5-bar gate, or just a gap, then it's always howling wind here, and that will blow the snow through, and you're suddenly faced with a snowdrift. So I need ground clearance as well as vehicular grip. So that's why I've opted to go down a 4x4 route, which we'll talk about. Well, some of it you know that live on a live stream the other night, the lovely Mike of Classic Wheels Wales mentioned that he'd taken a Land Rover Freelander in part exchange, said it would be perfect for me, sent me pictures, sent me a video, and I agree with him, it would be perfect for me. Now, obviously, the only slight fly in the ointment is that the lovely Mike of Classic Car Wales would like some money in exchange for this car, and I haven't got any, as you know perfectly well. So I've had to sell some cars. Well, I've sold one car, and I need to sell one or possibly two more, and I need to do it fairly quickly so that I can then go and collect this new car, hopefully, if I can make it happen, 1 week today. So there we are, that's what's happening with that. Now, where do I get to? New subscriber alert. Beardy Streetwise. Now, is Beardy Streetwise a genuine new subscriber? Or have one of you buggers come up with yet another alter ego? I mean, he's done the Halo Angel emoji, which leads me to suspect that it's a latter rather than a former. One of you has taken on a new identity, Beardy Streetwise. Who do we know who's got a Streetwise? Underscore has got a Streetwise, and Pingu Concord has got a Streetwise. Haven't you, Pingu? And we have a new subscriber, well, I have a new subscriber, and we have a new community member called Beardy Streetwise. Interesting. I've spotted, oh, I'm all behind on comments again, aren't I? Right, let's whiz through these comments so we can catch up and have a proper chat. Snow Chain says, Jimmy Quinn. Again, I need ground clearance. Spotty Botty says, we need subtitles for us non-French speakers. I'm trying to remember what he said. He said, hello, yes, I'm very good. Thank you, how are you? Perhaps he just needs a streetwise and an off-road attitude for the snow. We did, yep, that was a possibility. The local, oh God. Thundercock, says Simon. Apropos of nothing. Beardy Streetwise, nice name. Oh, hello. Miss Georgina Rubberbottom is with us and gives us a selection of emojis to choose from. Oh, Boaty, says Spotty Botty. I've found a new Momo dealer near to my place. We'll have to try it soon, funds permitting. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy. If you were a little bit closer, I'd give you some of mine. Oh, excellent, Simon. An honourable exchange indeed. GUU says, Boaty's live chat. I am in you. Higher. All right, Spotty Botty's off. X-Hamster is a naughty site. Oh, is it? I didn't realise. Simone says, I'm amazed you didn't get stuck in the snow. Well, I kind of did at the end. God. But yeah, I did well to battle through it. Oh, Jimmy Quinn's dinner was Chinese and red wine. Was it one of those never-ending Chineses, Jimmy, where you order everything on the menu and presumably eat the leftovers for the next 3 days? Right. Oh, Black Lines is on a fast. So Black Lines is on a fast. So nobody mentioned dinner. Jimmy, don't talk too much about your Chinese. General Cheeseburger, don't mention the pizza that you're having for tea tomorrow. And definitely don't mention what you had for dinner today. I'm doing a stir fry tonight and I've got Momo for lunch tomorrow. Happy days. Did Brian get Fixe's bad books? No, Brian has got a lot worse. And I think the problem is the BCU, the plectrum thing, is basically banjaxed. And he's doing all sorts of crazy stuff. He almost killed me 3 times today. You know, you're doing 70 mile an hour down a motorway in the driving rain and he'll suddenly just die. No wipers, no lights, no power steering, no nothing. Then he'll start sounding his horn and putting his hazards on. Then he'll start locking and unlocking, trying to open his boot and just going generally crazy. It was an interesting journey to the yard. Although, I have to say, on the way home, he didn't play at once. But it's getting more and more frequent. It's clearly a very, very serious problem. And there's not a shitload I can do about it at the moment. Oh dear. Oh God. Where else but on YouTube could you get a grown man talking to a car that apparently has set up its own Google account? Well, I don't know. I mean, all of my cars have their own Facebook accounts. So why shouldn't they have a YouTube account as well? A message held review. This will be filth. Wetleg gave up a cushy life on the tropical Isle of Wight to be frozen to death, internally examined and anally probed over Boaty's ownership. Don't make me feel any worse. Oh, Cheeseburger, don't be rotten. She's going to have a wonderful life here with me. All right, admittedly, it's not started too well, but you just wait until we get the really good weather and she goes around the wonderful peak and I'll take her to Wales and she can drive around. And bear in mind, General Cheeseburger, she might have had a 3-year holiday on the island of Wight, but she's from here. She's a Manchester girl. She was born and raised in Manchester. And before she went to the Isle of Wight, she was living in Glossop. So she's come home. She's used to it. She's a northern girl. Oh, hello. That's an interesting name. Adam Sandler Coinhead says, hello everyone, hi Boaty, and hello to you. Thank you for joining us. When we complained about the live stream, it wasn't the iPhone, but was bedtime stories. Yeah, well, you complained about bedtime stories a lot, but you also complained when I used this iPhone, and I had to go back to the other one. And I thought the phone was faulty, but I Googled it, and there is an inherent fault with the speaker on iPhones from iPhone X onwards, apparently. So, first one of the night, I thank you. So for this, I'm still using my incredibly elderly iPhone 6. iPhone are too pricey for the lack of upgradable memory for me, or they used to be. Oh, okay. A 4x4 will pull a caravan, just saying. Yeah, and it's got a tow bar. A city rover would have been an abject failure in the snow. Well, some would say a city rover is an abject failure, full stop. Mustard used to have an L200, whatever that is. Apparently it wasn't very good. Oh, right, yeah. Oh, hello, Penelope Shitstop says, what alter ego? I've no idea what you're talking about. Oh, God. Wetleg's rear end says your sponge job was okay, but it was all over rather quickly, wasn't it? No, it bloody wasn't. I dabbed at you with that wet sponge for ages because you were stained. You were seriously stained, and you took a bit of scrubbing, you dirty girl. What car did you sell? Asked Jimmy Quinn. I've sold the Honourable H.J. Rover, the Rover 45, and I'm trying to sell Sir Arnold Robinson the Rover 75. So if anybody wants to buy him, much cheapness, my friends, much cheapness. Another one held for filth. Oh, I had pulled pork and mash in a plastic container. Why did you have it in a plastic container? Was it like a ping meal, or did you make it and put it in a plastic container? Anyway, apparently it was shit. What car is next to go, Boaty? Asked GUU. The Rover 75. The Rover 75 is next to go. It is up for sale, and I will be doing a sales video for it maybe tomorrow. See what the weather's like. I need to rescue it from where it was snowbound down the road, and give it a bit of a right. Hang on. Yeah, I'm not reading that out, cheeseburger. Oh God, Roger Boaty, really? Can't beat a northern girl. What? Well, not for less than £45 an hour. Oh, it was a micro. If Boaty paid as much attention to Chinese Madam as Wetleg, she would have been very happy. Chinese Madam had a lot more attention than Wetleg. Don't forget that Chinese Madam had a habit of very much helping herself to attention. God almighty, she had no grounds for complaint. I dedicated my life to that woman. Shoot me for trying to have an hour in peace in the morning. Oh, we got more filth here. No, your arse isn't dirty, Wetleg. Oh, God above. How am I getting grief from my own car on my own live stream? This is surreal. How is this happening? Oh, wine news. You want wine news? Is it frozen? Oh, bloody hell. Before I check the wine, stop press. Hold the phones. GPS, who takes great delight in constantly reminding me how fucking awful my videos are, says, good evening, Mr. Potterer. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Right, listen to this. I'm gonna print this out and get it framed. Enjoyed the video yesterday. You're getting better. Way! I'm doing a lap of honour for that. I'll check the wine. We'll check the wine. The wine is still perfectly unfrozen. So, happy days there. Now, where did I get to? Yeah, I'm not reading that out, cheeseburger. I told you what card is next to go. It's the 75. I'll pour some wine. I've had power cuts as well. Today's been cataclysmically pissing it down. Honestly, the trials of being a boaty at Windy Bum. Now then, Oh, details of the 75, please, Boaty, says Simone. Okay, it is. It's a 2004 Rover 75 CDTi Connoisseur SE. It's automatic. It is the more powerful variant. It's the 131 PS variant, and also it's tuned, and it's pretty rapid actually. It's got the full Connoisseur SE spec. It's got full leather, electric heated memory seats, heated seats, yeah, bum warmers. It's got the piped leather interior. It's got the light oak fake wood. It's got the original half wooden steering wheel. What else? I've given it brand new tyres all round. They've probably only done about 1,000 mile, maybe 1,500. And for the last MOT, I had 2 new sills fitted each side. So it's had a right few quid spent on it. It drives fabulously. It drives like a Rolls Royce. Body wise, it's solid, no rust, but it's not the prettiest. It's got a few lumps and bumps, and it's just got a couple of bits that need tidying up. Like it needs a new bonnet catch fitting. You have to tug the cable manually with a pair of grips, which are supplied with the car. But it's it's a fabulous thing to drive. What else it got? All the normal stuff, dual zone climate control. The aircon is fabulous, fully charged, and well, I don't know if it's fully charged, but it's certainly working very well. Heater works perfectly. Engine is fine. Automatic gearbox works terribly well. It's all right. It's all right. It's not a show car by any manner of means, but it's a lovely thing to drive, and it's a very, very usable car. It's great on fuel. It genuinely does drive like a Rolls Royce. It's incredibly comfortable, and I don't want a lot of money for it. So there you go. I paid loads of attention to Chinese madam. You've got no idea. I wish I'd been doing YouTube when we were together, because that was one of the problems. She actually took over my life, not in a bad way, not in a domineering way, just just culturally. It was I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do YouTube. Well, I would. I could have just put my foot down with a firm hand. But she was such an entrepreneur. I mean, she's incredibly intelligent woman. Well, as you'd imagine, she was, she had a first-class bachelor's degree, first-class master's, and she was doing a bloody doctoral research PhD. Obviously she was clever, but she was very assiduous and very hard-working. But she was also an incredibly good businesswoman, which is why, of course, she was so rich. And like a lot of rich people, even though she was rich, she didn't turn down any opportunity to turn a few quid. So as soon as she saw what she had to pay to get, not when she was with me, because obviously I picked her up from the airport when she flew back from China to come and live here, picked her up from Heathrow. But when she was living in her house in Swansea and going to and fro from China, and she was having to pay they used to, they didn't use normal taxis. Like a lot of communities, they supported their own. So there'd be one Chinese guy with a 7-seater or a minibus or whatever, and they would like use it to go to the airport and back. But she saw what he was charging. So one of the first things she did is she got me to buy a 7-seater and started organising airport trips so that she'd be getting the money for it. So of course I was designated driver for that, wasn't I? And she had this great thing because she was a bit of a social media personality on WeChat, the Chinese social media platform. And she was quite widely known, and she used to trade on that. She was, I suppose, a bit of an influencer or whatever you call it. And she set up specific groups for students, and so as soon as she knew that she was coming here, she got all in with all of the Chinese community in Sheffield. And what she used to do is, if you don't know how it works, most Chinese students in the UK are supported by the Chinese government, and the Chinese government pays for everything. They pay £100,000 a year for their study, for their course fees, tuition fees. They pay for their house. They pay for all of their expenses, their flights, and they give them a very, very generous living allowance. You know, something ridiculous, like 500 quid a week just for food. But in return, they have to sign a contract with the Chinese government that when their studies are complete, they will go back to China and they will work within a government department. The Chinese value the education in the UK and in America, but having been educated, they want them to go back home and work for the Chinese good. So they pay for all of this. Now, Madam was fiercely independent, refused to go down that road, worked her arse off, dealt in property, and got enough money to fund her own studies. And you're talking about a right few quid. You know, you're talking about like 80 grand a year, something insane like that. Plus you've got to pay for your housing and your living and your travel and and whatnot. And she wouldn't take a penny from the Chinese government, which is why we were constantly on the hit list and we were bugged and all of that nonsense. So, yeah, but the thing she used to do with this community that she built with all of the students is when the students were going back to China, right, they didn't give a toss because they're loaded, right? They're absolutely loaded. And they didn't give a toss about all of the things in their student accommodation or their house or their shared house or whatever the hell it was. Didn't give a toss. So she would offer to go in and clear it all out, right? And she didn't charge them, but equally they didn't get any money for all of their possessions. So she'd go in, which meant I would go in and we'd clear everything out. This place became a warehouse. And so, yeah, when everybody went back to China, they just needed to get rid of their stuff. She would take it all. But then when the new Chinese students came in a couple of weeks later, she'd flog it all back to them. So I spent most of my days driving around the Chinese Sheffield student community. Believe me, I'm familiar with every student accommodation in bloody Sheffield. And my wage for doing that was she would pay for lunch in the Chinese Quarter in Sheffield. You know, she didn't pay for fuel in the car. She didn't pay any rent here. She didn't pay a single penny towards any of the bills or anything like that. But she would buy me lunch at the Chinese Quarter, which, when you eat like she did, and you've seen her, right? Size 6, nothing to her. But you've seen the picture of what she used to eat when we used to go to an actual Chinese, you know, the place where the Chinese eat in the Chinese Quarter. No English anywhere, everything in Chinese. And she would just order, you know, we had to have a table for 6 to fit all of her food on. Not that she ate it all there and then. She'd have her pick, and then it would all be boxed up and brought home for her nibbles until the next time we got back to the Chinese Quarter. But yeah, that's what she was like. Any opportunity to earn a few quid or save a few quid, and she took it. And there's a whole Chinese underworld going around the UK that I knew nothing about. They're very, it's like they come to the UK, they don't go and change their money at a bank, or they don't go and change it at an exchange unit or anything like that. No, they make a mysterious phone call to somebody who wants their Chinese yen and will give them a better rate on UK sterling than they get at the bank. And then the money presumably finds its way back to China. So that meant that I had to take several journeys to Cardiff, where very cloak and dagger, we weren't allowed to know where we were going until we got nearby, and we had to phone up. And then we just had to go to a random street corner in Cardiff where this great big black car glides up, and Madam disappears into the back of this. I have to sit twiddling my thumbs or stand. I have to walk there. So I have to stand twiddling my thumbs and in the pouring rain or whatever while some transaction goes on. And then we have to walk back to the car carrying a plastic bag full of with about 50 grand in cash in it. Oh God, it was bizarre. Oh dear. Right, Roger Boaty's, what's Roger Boaty doing? Mother Roger Boaty still hasn't got back from the weekend escapades. Jeeves has refused to leave the housekeeper's bed since Mother left. And poor old Roger Boaty's had to survive on champagne and caviar. Have you ever been a gambler, Boaty? Says Skick. Yeah, I've always been a gambler. For quite a few years, I made a very good secondary income by professionally gambling. I used for many years, many years, I used the local casino, like other people use the local pub. I was in there 5 nights a week. I am an expert gambler. I've never lost overall, and more than once I've managed to do the ultimate gambler's pilgrimage of going to Las Vegas, not paying for a single thing when I'm out there, and coming back with more money than I went with. Yeah, I'm a very, very keen gambler. I've done videos, Skick. I've done videos of going to and coming back from the casino and talking about what I've played and how I've played. And in fact, I've just remembered that when we started these live streams, I was going to do some live coaching, teaching you how to play blackjack and not lose. And I completely forgot about that, and we should do it because that would be fun. So if anybody still wants to do that, let me know, and I will, now that we're doing live streams more often, I will dedicate one live stream a week to teaching you lot. Well, I'll teach you 2 things. I'll teach you a guaranteed way to win at roulette, but it will take you quite a long time to win a relatively small amount of money, but you're guaranteed not to lose. Probability is absolutely in your favour. There is a way of doing it. The downside is it takes a lot of patience and a lot of time to earn relatively very little, and after a while, if you do it every night as I used to, the casino will eventually ask you to leave, or at least ask you to leave the roulette table and go and play something else instead. What I do is I use that system to build up, or what I used to. I don't have the money to do it now. I just don't have the spare money to go with, because the money's just disappears or goes into cars or whatever. But what you do is you build up a decent amount of stake money using the roulette system where you know you can't lose. And then you go and play cards with that money where you are unlikely to lose, but it's not guaranteed, assuming that you play properly, assuming that you play the percentages, which I would teach you how to do. And then if you do lose, you've lost the casino's money, not your own. I'm liking the comedy shorts you've been putting on the channel, says GUU. Yeah, my lunchtime laughs. I started putting a little short funny video clip up at 13 minutes past 1. Something which amuses me and will hopefully amuse you, and maybe something that you have never seen before or haven't seen for a long time, because they tend to be classic bits of comedy. And tonight's is doing rather well. At the last look, it had over, I think it had over 800 views since 1 o'clock this afternoon, and it's quite an amusing one. But yeah, I'm getting some good feedback on those. Yeah, I mean, obviously GPS gave me shit for telling me I was lazy and just using other people's footage. He said, I know you edit them a bit, but it's a lazy way of doing it. But they're in addition to the proper evening video, just to give you a little bit of a laugh and a bit of light relief. And I'm getting some great feedback on them, so I'm really glad you're enjoying them. And thank you for that comment, Gio. I did consider selling Connie, says Simone, but I don't think I would get much. It's a nice 75, that one, says Simon. I like the sound of it already, says Simone. I think 75s will start to go up in value soon, says Cheeseburger, and I agree. They're not going to live in banger territory forever. So, now, if you were thinking of buying a 75, don't leave it too late, because they're bound to start creeping up. They're an unparalleled amount of car for the money at the moment. I mean, what else can you buy for less than £1,000 that's got that sort of spec, level of luxury, level of comfort? I mean, there is nothing else. I mean, a comparable diesel automatic S-Type, you're going to be looking at what, £3,000? Easy. BMW 730D, again comparable. I don't know how much money they're doing, but you can get a Rover 75. You can get a top spec Rover 75, MOT'd, driving well, without any major faults, for less than £1,000. How do I know? Because I'm selling one. So yeah, I mean, what else can you buy for that? The price of cars these days and the price of scrap cars, what do you get for under £1,000? What do you get for like 800 quid? Just a shed. But you could have a beautiful Rover 75 and everything that goes with that. So apart from the fact that it's just a beautiful car to own and to drive, you get entrance to that community, you get shows if you want them, you get the pleasure of owning a modern classic, you can fettle it, you can polish it on a Sunday, and you can throw money at it because it will be an incredibly cheap car to own. Why? Well, classic insurance, all right? That makes it cheap to begin with. But the biggest thing that makes them a cheap car to own is reverse depreciation. There is no depreciation. The car will never be worth any less for being another year older. But in the case of a Rover 75, it will actually almost certainly be worth more for being another year older. So that means that you can throw, a little bit of money at it to keep it on the road, and you're not pissing it down the drain. It's actually an appreciating asset. And if you haven't got something relatively classic in your life, it doesn't matter how nice your day-to-day car is, right? Makes no odds how nice it is. If it's your day-to-day car, if it's the car that you go shopping in, if it's the car that you go to work in, then however nice it is, it won't be as nice as having something different and special that you drive on high days and holidays, that is loved, cherished, polished, cleaned. And when you drive that car, even if it's worth less than your everyday car, it will be special. It will be a special occasion. And you will automatically enjoy it more because it's an occasion. It's something different. So you should own one. You should own mine. Cheltenham tomorrow, says GPS. I can't afford to waste money on cars. I need it for the horses. God, is it Cheltenham already? Blimey. Now, my ex-business partner and ex-part-time potterer, she used to live in Cheltenham, right by the racecourse. She used to rent, she used to come and stay with me and rent her flat out there in Cheltenham. Made a fortune. Made an absolute fortune. I know someone who will buy any Rover, says Beardy Streetwise, especially if it needs saving, but definitely no 75s. Right. Don't ask Mustard to repair the bonnet catch on the 75. Well, it was kind of 4 faults for a refusal on that score. It kind of was on his list at one point and didn't happen. We couldn't find one, that was it. Yeah, we couldn't find one at the time he was going to have a bash at it. There seem to be a few nice Rovers on the Facebook groups lately. Annoyingly, they're all up for about the same as I'll probably need to spend on mine. Yeah. I'll put the first bid in then, 50p. What's that a bid for? Oh, my 75. Okay, well, the bidding's at 50p then. We're glad you weren't doing YouTube when Chinese Madam was around. There's no place for that on a family channel. Oh, don't forget to like, says Jimmy Quinn helpfully. How much for the broken one, says Beardy Streetwise. Oh, and only 8 likes so far, says Mustard. Yeah, well, it's one of my live streams, isn't it? It's not like yours where you get 64 million likes. How much for the broken what? I don't know what we're talking about there. Beardy. Bert, that's your new nickname. I think Mustard could get a haircut and be earning. Oh, God. 18 likes now. 20 likes. Really? It's only showing 7 here. Carl Davis is here. Hello, Carl. How are you, mate? Carl, says Mustard. And I say buttocks because I've welcomed everybody to the live stream tonight with a heartwarming buttocks. Divorced and still dating, says Matt. I'd say it's a safe bet to say he gambles. Stop the press, says Simon. I bought some Rolos today. Meetups would be a good place to try the gambling lesson thing. Yeah, but we're going to be too busy schmoozing and saying hello and getting to know each other. I reckon that would be better done over a live stream. Meet up at the casino. Now, that would be fun. That would be fun. I'd enjoy that. General Cheeseburger says, today's lunchtime video was stereotypical, sexist, misogynistic, racist, and extremely funny. And yeah, I agree with all of those. It was funny. It was bloody funny. And we saw your lovely Boaty. All I'm saying, Steffi love, is you've got a lovely Boaty. Like two little peaches in a hanky. The best bit. The best bit. Very pretty and a bit of a tease. And then just as he's sitting down, which is more than could be said for your nose, forgive me. That was the line that got me. That was perfect. Which is more than could be said for you. I mean, just when you think that he's gone as far as you can go by talking to the Wimbledon ladies champion and talking about the fact that when she played two particular shots, her skirt lifted and we saw her lovely Boaty, and then asking, do your knickers just ride naturally up your arse crack, or were you wearing a thong, and do you have to shave extensively in the bikini region? But then to come out with all of that and to finish with the compliment on the lovely Boaty and then just go, which is more than could be said for your nose, forgive me. From behind, a bit tasty, but when you turn round, the boat race is a bit dodgy. You are asking me if I think I have a big nose? That's about the size of it, or rather, that's about the size of it. Oh my God, you couldn't get away with that now, could you? You just couldn't get away with it. Steffi Graf, I mean, you would though, wouldn't you? Andre Agassi. Andre Agassi married her, didn't he? Lucky sod. I mean, ooh, lovely. But the one I liked from that sort of era was, what was her name? Gabriella Sabatini. Oh, dear me. That olive skin and that short white skirt. Dear, what? I should rub a dub. Oh, dear me. Oh, lovely. Oh, God. I haven't thought about her for 30 years. Gabriella Sabatini. Oh. And the other one from the period was a cyclist called Roberta Bonanomi. What's the matter with you? Spit it out, boy. A BMW 7 Series isn't comparable to a 75, says Cheeseburger. A 520D shared a 2-litre BMW engine. Rover is a better place to be and cheapest. Yeah, agreed. It's a cheap car, says Mustard. Thank you, it is. And it's cheap for a reason. The car that I'm getting is cheap. And so, yeah, I want to pass the luck on. So, yeah, so I'm not asking top dollar for it. I also do need to sell it in the next 7 days. Which is another reason why it's not stupidly priced. But, well, there we are. I'm delighted to say that the 45 is going to be staying in the community. So that's lovely. It's going to a really good home. And I'm very happy about that. So that's the second of my cars that has left my cruel ownership and gone to a better place. I'm hoping to have the cash for a classic this year, says Cheeseburger. Haven't told the wife yet. Right. I hope you're talking about a car there and not a classic of some other nature. I can vouch for that, says Simon. Who owns one? 75s make a good modern classic. Usable car and different enough to modern stuff to be interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I'm funding some Airbnb for a client in Cheltenham. Silly money to rent in the horse racing and jazz festival. It is. Jimmy Quinn's up the bid to 300 quid. Cheers, Jimmy. Slightly under scrap money, under what it's worth weighed in. But I paid more than that for the bloody tyres. Right, Bearded Streetwise meant the broken Rover that cut out on you on the motorway. Well, I can't sell it. It's my daily car. It's my Arthur. It might be knackered, but I'm still dailying it. It's just going to kill me one of these days. Hopefully not literally. The blackjack and other casino games would be great to learn. I'll definitely do that. Which show did the lunchtime video come from? Never seen it before, says Cheeseburger. No, well, that doesn't surprise me. It was a one-off. It was on Channel 4 in the late 1980s. And I'm not telling you which show it was. I'm keeping my secret. Because if I tell you, then you'll just go and look at the whole thing. Instead of looking at my carefully spliced up bits of it. Now, don't worry, the whole show is going to be on. I'm just putting it on in bite-sized segments. So you're not missing out on anything, but I want you to watch it on my channel, not on anybody else's. Because then, hopefully, you'll heed my instruction to leave that bloody knob alone, let the advert run, and it will help me put a new stereo in Wetleg, or put some gas in the meter, or, I don't know, buy a bottle of wine or something. That's what this is all about, isn't it, my loves? It's about you being kind enough to help me stay alive by watching these videos, leaving that knob alone, and not skipping the adverts. Simon's off. See you tomorrow at 9 or 8:30. I've not decided yet. What day is it? Monday. Does that mean that Simon is doing a live tomorrow? Bloody hell. So Monday is kind of unique in that it seems to be the only night where I'm not following on from at least one other person. So Simon's doing a live tomorrow. Now, I know that Rob is doing a live on Wednesday. Who's doing Thursday? I'll be able to retire from doing this once you lot take over. I can just lounge around and get drunk and watch old boxing matches. I love watching old boxing matches at around midnight with a bottle of wine. What's your favourite old boxing match to watch? Or more recent? I love all of the classics that everybody loves. Rumble in the Jungle, The Thriller in Manila. I love watching Local Boy, Johnny Nelson. I'm a huge fan of Johnny Nelson, and I'm a huge fan of his life story. And I enjoyed I particularly enjoyed the last two of the Fury Wilder trilogy. And I loved watching. I also enjoyed AJ's latest fights. I loved watching the fight with Andy Ruiz. I enjoyed that very much, and I enjoyed both of the Usyk fights. And I'm annoyed that it looks like Fury is trying to weasel out of the unification bout with Usyk. He came in with a stupid offer that Usyk was bound to refuse. He said he'd fight him for a 70-30 split in Fury's favour, which is idiotic. It's a total insult. I've frozen my wine, and I've got a wine turd. I've got a good wine turd. Let's leave that for a minute. So he came up with a stupid offer, 70-30. You bear in mind that Fury's only got one minor belt, and Usyk holds all of the other belts, including the Ring Magazine belt now. And Fury comes in with 70-30, and Usyk calls his bluff. and says, yeah, okay, I'll take that. And now Fury's saying that he won't fight if there's a rematch clause. And Usyk is saying that, look, if I agree to no rematch clause, which is insane, he would be insane to do that. There is always a rematch clause in a bout as important as this. It's a unification bout. Of course there has to be a rematch clause. They'd be crazy not to do it. But Usyk has said, and I think he's right, that if I agree to no rematch clause, he'll just find another reason to get out of it. And, you know, there's always two sides to every story, at least two sides. Normally there's three. There's one side, the other side, and the actual truth. But it does look as if Fury's trying to weasel out of it, which would be a great shame. We haven't had a unified heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis, and that is a long, long, long time. So fans deserve that unification fight, and I would love to see Usyk Fury, because if I had to bet, I'd bet on Tyson Fury. But I give Usyk more chance of beating him than any other boxer on the planet. I don't care that he's a blown-up cruiserweight. Just with his boxing skill, he's the only guy on the planet that I reckon is in with a fighting chance, if you'll forgive the expression, of beating Fury. He's not going to knock him out, but he could outpoint him. Theoretically, he could outpoint him. I would bet on Fury. I would bet on Fury, you know. I genuinely actually think that Tyson Fury is as close to unbeatable as maybe, you know, the best version of Fury is as close to unbeatable as pretty much as we've ever seen. Because who's going to beat him and how? I mean, who can you look at that was unbeatable? Lennox was a great champion, but he wasn't unbeatable, was he? He could be knocked out, and he was knocked out twice. Ali was by no means unbeatable. Even at his peak, he wasn't unbeatable. Don't forget, Joe Frazier beat Ali in their first fight. Who else can you name? Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes, very underrated champion. Larry Holmes was close to unbeatable, but not as close as Tyson Fury. Anyway, a little bit of boxing chat there. So, what's happened? Oh, hang on. Right, let's have a look. If I had the money, Boaty, I'd buy the car from you, say Simone. I can fix the bonnet easy. Ah, right. Well, I wish you had the money then. Oh, right, yeah. Simon's off. Steady on, Boaty. Gary Glitter has gone back to jail tonight. Do you know? I saw that. I got a news flash about that when I got home tonight. And obviously, at the time the news flash came, it was evening or whenever it was. And would you believe, I'm not sure who's got the footage. I think Mustard's got the footage. Oh, God. Talk about timing. We did a skit, just one of our silly impromptu songs and silliness in a video today. And it was about Gary Glitter. So that was really inopportune timing, or opportune timing, depending on your Weltanschauung or point of view. But obviously the news hadn't broken at that point, so it was absolutely a coincidence. Has the snow melted? Asked Carl Davis. Yes. Not totally, but the rain has been so incredibly heavy here that to all intents and purposes it has melted. There's still some in sheltered regions, but actually I haven't looked at the back. Let's have a look at the back. Hang on. Yeah, it's totally gone, totally gone. Obviously I drove to Mustards today and there were some patches, but I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's been torrential rain today. Honestly, it's been biblical. I actually, when I was coming back tonight, there was a section where the rain was so hard, I had to put my wipers on the super fast, where they go like the clappers. And I still had to slow down to about 20 miles an hour because I just couldn't see. The rain was that heavy. It was the sort of rain that would have hurt if you were standing outside in it. But it's kind of bizarre that you can go from the level of snow that we had on Saturday and even yesterday to absolutely nothing at all, almost overnight. I've got an interesting little snippet of video to show you. I didn't do a complete drive to work. When was it? Saturday night. Was it Saturday night? Or, no, maybe Sunday night. But it's really quite bizarre. We'd had rain, we'd had a thaw. Must have been last night, must have been Sunday night. But on the country lanes, it was really weird. You'll see the video. It's not a whole video. There's about 10 minutes. But you've got this perfectly fine road that's just interspersed with snowdrifts. And it was like a slalom course in between the snowdrifts. You'll see it, it's interesting. Oh, we're up to 500 quid. We're up to 500 quid for the 75 from Jimmy Quinn. Not a million miles away there, Jimmy. You wouldn't be a million miles away from owning it at that. I'm really not asking much money for it. I asked Mustard what he thought it was worth, and I'm asking a lot less than that. Arthur, love it. Hope it becomes a thing. It already has. Mustard and I are already talking about our Arthurs, and Mustard might have some Arthur news for you in an upcoming video. Are you not copyrighted for the comedy show? No, it wouldn't be up there if I was copyrighted. For those who don't know, you can you upload the video and you upload it as a private listing or an unlisted listing. So it goes through the copyright process, and then obviously if there's a copyright issue, then you don't make it public. You just get rid. I had a song video that I was very keen to put up because when we've talked about past glories and whatnot, and somebody asked, I can't remember how it came up, but somebody was asking about pottering pop stars and asking if anybody had. And of course I had a thing with somebody who had a worldwide #1, and I tried to put up, I've never said who it is and I never will, but I tried to put up my favourite live video of that song, and I got away with it, and it was going to go live the next day, no copyright issues found, and it was going live the next day, and I was just going to enjoy it being up there and none of you lot knowing the history. And just before it went live I got hit with a copyright claim, so it hasn't gone up and it never will. But no, the comedy shows are fine. you get to, if you do a little bit of research, then you can kind of learn which are unlikely not to have a copyright issue. If they have got a copyright issue, then 9 times out of 10, if you get hit with a copyright strike, then your channel is at risk. But that doesn't often happen. What usually happens is you get hit with a copyright claim, which is a different thing. Now that doesn't put your channel at risk. It just means that your video, if you've got a monetized channel, then it means that one of 2 things will happen. Well, one of 3 things. Either somebody will claim the copyright, but say, go ahead, you can use it. But they will monitor it. And if you start making a fortune off it, they'll put in another claim. Or they will say, you can do a shared revenue on it. And that's what normally happens with cover songs. So, say I uploaded a video of me singing a song that was copyrighted, as all songs are, then the automated bots would pick up on the tune. The owner of the copyright would be alerted, and normally a revenue share would be offered on the basis that you're doing a cover, your own cover of somebody else's song, and you would do a revenue share where they probably get something like 80% of the revenue and you get something like 20%. Or they can do a full copyright claim and they get all of the money. You can put the video up and you will get the you'll get the watch time, and you'll get the views, and you might well get subscribers as well, but you won't get any revenue out of it. Now, if I was starting a channel again from scratch, then that is the route that I would go down. As either I would purely use videos like that that are going to get a lot of attention, a lot of views, a lot of watch time. So they'll get your watch time up to the 4,000 hours you need in 12 calendar months, and almost certainly earn you subscribers as well. And it won't matter that you're not getting any revenue. I would do that in addition to doing my own content, kind of the way that I am now, and that would get you to monetization status a lot quicker than just using your own content, I suspect. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Pingu. Pingu's going to pingu me tomorrow. You should call the broken 45 Christine. What? What's this, Steecle? I heard it doesn't matter if you miss the adverts. It bloody matters to me. That's taking food off my table. Simone's off. Oh, best fight, says Carl Davis. Oh, Hearns v Hagler. Yeah, I mean that was the most amazing first round that you will ever see of any fight, wouldn't it? R.I.P. Marvelous Marvin went too young, didn't he? And do you know, he actually changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler because the commentators weren't using his nickname when he wanted them to. So he actually changed his name by default. Oh God, still just one t-shirt on your store. Plans for anything else? Yeah, I've got hundreds of plans for merch. I just haven't got any time to do it. It's quite intricate to do. And there just aren't enough hours in the day. I'd love to get a load of merch. I mean, I want to get the mustard, the muffin out magnet t-shirts out there. The problem is that if you ever launch, if you launch a channel, if you haven't already, you get addicted to the numbers and you get addicted to analytics. And the idea of not doing a video for 3 or 4 days so that you could stock up your merch store, sensible thing to do. The world's not going to end if you don't put out one of your shit videos for a couple of days. What difference is it going to make in real terms? Zero. But your analytics will get hit, and that matters to you more than it should. What I should do is not do any videos for 2 days, 3 days, and get some merch in the store. And I just end up doing videos because those numbers just become addicted. And stupid as it sounds, you start to live and die by them. You know, I've got a real life outside of this nonsense. I've got a beautiful place to live. I've got cars to play with. I've got a job that I love with people that I love. I've got food to cook and eat. And you become obsessed by these stupid little numbers on this stupid little analytics thing. Look, some of you will know what I'm talking about. Mustard will. Simon, you probably, I think you've gone to bed, but you will, because you're obsessing over your subs. And I've teased you about it, but you can't help it. You just can't help it. Fury is building for his life outside the ring. A great boxer, but making the most of the situation. A career in media, maybe. Yeah, well, maybe, but... Well, maybe. You know, good luck to him. I think he didn't go well last time, did it? Obviously, he doesn't want to go down that route again, but he's kind of got double jeopardy, hasn't he? Does he want to finish his career unbeaten? Or does he want to finish his career undisputed? And fighting Usyk is a risk. Simple as that. And I think he must know on some level that it's a risk. And he doesn't seem terribly keen to do it. I mean, he'd have fought AJ in a heartbeat, in an absolute heartbeat, because he'd batter AJ. AJ wouldn't stand a chance. Usyk has got a slight chance, and I don't know. If he wants real legacy, he needs to be undisputed champion, because if he retires only holding that one belt, okay, he's held the other belts beforehand, but he's never been undisputed. And to have true legacy, you've got to beat the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. And at the moment, Usyk is the man who beat the man who beat the man. And Usyk is also, he's undefeated, isn't he, as a pro? So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Didn't he get a controversial count after Wilder smacked him? I don't think it was controversial, was it? I can't remember now. I mean, it was bloody unbelievable that he got up. Wetleg's rear end. I may not be a Korean butt queen, but I'm still here waiting for a damn good thrashing. And you will get it, Wetleg, you will get it. Car Crazy Norwegian is with us. How lovely. And you must go and watch that man's videos. They're great. Wetleg car stickers, why not? Fury would have murdered AJ. Oh, Christ, yeah. Absolutely he would have. To come back from his physical condition to where he is now is amazing. Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. But I'll tell you what, my loves, I think we'll wrap it up with that. Have I got anything else to tell you? Oh, maybe I should tell you a little bit about the Freelander that hopefully will be happening sometime soon, ideally a week today. It's a Freelander, it's a really nice one, it's in the right colour, it's a facelift. and it's a 5-door. It's diesel, manual. I need the services of Matt the Merch Machine. I need the services of somebody or something. Yeah. It's really fiddly to do as well. But I must do it. I absolutely must do it. Okay. Too late to do it here, but in the Facebook group or somewhere, tell me what item of merch you would like most. And whichever one is the most popular, I will guarantee that I will get that on sale before the weekend. How's that? How's that? You decide amongst you. Somebody put a poll up in the Facebook group or something. Yes, obviously silver, yeah. Yeah, silver. Looks really, really nice actually. Super clean, with an incredible history. Little bit up there on the miles, but what's for supper, Mr. Bottom Fondler Booby Sniffer? Tonight I will be doing a beef stir fry with onion and ginger and spring onion and spiced up a bit of chilli in there. It's kind of, I seem to be getting into some food routines that just seem to work, and I like that beef dish on a Monday night, and then I tend to always have momos for lunch on a Tuesday. There are reasons for that. It's to do with not being at work on Monday, so not being able to get fresh stuff from the restaurant. And of course, momos come from the freezer. So, but looking forward to my momos tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's it to tell you about the Freelander. Oh, you're very welcome. Oh, you're not on Facebook. I'd love to get some car stickers. I'd love to get some car stickers like Mustard's got, but I can't find out where to get them done. I keep asking. And what's his name? Rover Joe can design them, but he can't print them. And if somebody could tell me, if somebody just came to me and said, yeah, I can do those, I'd gladly pay you. Not right at this moment because I haven't got any money, but I'd pay you next week. Or I'd order them next week. So yeah, that would be lovely. What else to tell you about that? Yeah, if the Freelander happens, I'm hoping it will happen next Monday. So there will be probably several collection videos if that happens, because it might be quite an interesting road trip that I wouldn't be doing on my own, or might not be doing on my own. And there'd be some videos to do with Mike, who is a force of nature. Classic Wheels Wales is a force of nature. Now, obviously, Mustard is good friends with him, and they've met, several times in the flesh. I've just spoken to him on the phone, and he's dynamic enough on the phone. Mustard says he's even more so in real life, and he never stops moving. He's one of those people that are so dynamic he can't stand still. And he's got this proper, considering he's of Greek heritage, he's got a proper South Walian voice, like a minor stroke minister, and you automatically do what he tells you. He rang me up. He rang me up with and said to talk to me about this Freelander, and I said it sounds perfect, Mike, but I'd have to sell some cars. I'm utterly skint. I've got a pot to piss in. How many cars you got, boy? I've got 6. 6? What the bloody hell's the matter with you? Too many, isn't it? Sell some immediately. Get them sold. It's absolutely daft. I understand it, mind. I understand it. But you're not in a position to be having 6 cars, and you need a 4x4. You think this winter's going to be the last one? No, it'll come again next year, boy. You get those cars sold and have this Freelander. And I said, yes, Mike. Sorry, Mike. I will do, Mike. And get the car straight up for sale. Oh, dear. Merch idea, chastity belt for those who don't want their bottom raided, and a thong for those who... Fucking hell. What? You'll get me locked up? Just sell a pair of knickers with no entry written on the rear. Oh dear. Oh, is Mike starting in Ivor the engine? Right, I'll finish with this. I haven't done this for years and years and years. But I used to do a half decent Ivor the engine. Ivor the engine. Jones the steam. Okay, here we go. I wonder if I can still do it. The things that you end up doing at... What time is it? It's 1:15. It's 1:15. You should be in bed. And I should be cooking supper. Come on, let's bugger off, my lovelies. It's been lovely catching up with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like button. I definitely need more wine, but happily, I have some. Hope you had a good weekend. None of you told me, but hope you did. And good God, still 19 of you watching. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And, well, see you next time, won't I? Stay dry. Eat some nice food. Podger a loved one. Oh, dear. Right, where's me thing to play you out? Here you go, darlings. Boom. Oh, bollocks, I've done it again, haven't I? For God's sake, it's every time I forget. Hopeless. Talk about unprofessional. It's like drinking tea with mustard. It's all you hear. Except he does all the poses, isn't it? I think he wants to be awarded points out of 10 for style and substance. Good night, everyone. Thank you, darlings. Thank you for being here. It's been fabulous. You take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay, have a great Tuesday. Bye-bye.